telling us, and I get that, understand it, and respect it. But not what I would like to have heard. Sounds like they're not sure, and they're going to give it another shot if he can handle it. And I'm worried about the kid hurting himself much worse. Hey, don't forget about the Quantrill Auto Group. They got a great deal, 0% interest, 000 for the Outback. It's an amazing deal for 36 months. Want to spread out to 72, 1.9. Now, we now have the XC60, the Volvo, the hybrid. It's a beautiful car. It's the best car we've had in our family, period. You get 41 miles before it goes over to gas. We've saved a ton by being a hybrid, a ton, and it is so smooth. It is crazy. Couldn't recommend it higher. We love the car, and occasionally, I think 3 times, Judy's let me drive it. It's been almost 2 months, but it is a spectacular car. But the point is, whether it's a Volvo, whether it's Subaru, whether the Cadillac, dealing with the Quantrill Auto Group is special. They're really lovely people to deal with. Don't forget, the Quantrill family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise to get you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks. Coming up, Jim Master. Curious what the sharpshooter says about what's going on. After that, Van Hiles. After that, Danny Haney down memory lane won a state championship at Lexington Catholic. He listens to the show in Florida. Still a huge Kentucky fan and listens to the show. And one of the great high school coaches in the state. Man, I love this fast break offense. So that's what we got lined up. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrill Auto Group. QuantrillForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-13.
Mary Rose and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials, including Mentos or Trident Vibes bottle pack gum for $3.99 or Uncle Ray's potato chips 3-ounce bags for $1.99.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pump and Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quantrill family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Welcome back. Jim Master, sharp-shooting guard for Kentucky in the early 80s, 80 to 84. Played on some great Kentucky teams. I still wouldn't want to play him in horse, and I wonder if he could beat almost everybody on the team in horse now. When you can shoot, you can shoot. Jim, how are you, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Doing good, and look forward to see if we can straighten this team out of ours.
Okay, so let's go through your emotions. So yesterday, Travis Ford was the voice of reason. Now, after the Louisville game, when he also joined us, he was so upset, Jim, he said he couldn't sleep. And he talked about all kinds of things, but is still optimistic about the future. But went through a litany of things that he thinks as a coach and a guy who, he was the one who, when Pope came to visit, he took him around. They're dear friends. They've been friends for a long time. He believes in Pope tremendously, but he also thinks there's a lot of things you got to fix. So after the game in Michigan State, or maybe 3 quarters in, tell me what your emotions were then, and I'm curious what your emotions are now.
Yeah. Well, again, there's no hiding it. It was a really dreadful performance. I thought on both ends of the court, of course, shooting, everybody, you can see that. Obviously, we didn't shoot well. And obviously we had several air balls, so that was pretty disappointing. But on the defensive side, and Alan, you've been over there a couple of times. I've been over to practice a few times, but Pope's always and everyone would be on defense. You can't be following your man. You can't be following your man, and they pick and you foul him. No. You have to get in front. You have to get around. And I just thought Michigan State could do anything on offense, and our boys seem to be always trailing their man. So my point is, defensively, I thought we were horrific, and offensively, just no rhythm. Now, you can also say, Alan, which is it's not excuses, it's just fact. We played without our starting, very good, I think, point guard. So there's still some excuses, but hell, when he comes back, you still got to have another point guard once in a while. And so disappointing. I still see some things in there. We're playing very good teams. Real quickly, Alan, Louisville game did not upset me that much. We were a 6.5 point underdog. It's hard to win on the road, and Louisville's good. And we were down 4 points going to the free throw line with like 3 minutes to go. My point is, this one was way more disastrous. Yeah, got to get back to work. Got to get tougher. Got to get back to work. Just didn't see the fight in them. Owe, I could go on and on, Alan. Owe needs to go to the basket. He doesn't need to take 16 3-pointers in 2 games. He needs to go to the basket. That's where his strength is and his skill is. So I see a lot there, but I'm not worried. I hope they get the Love back. I'm not Low back. I hope they get him back, but I'm not worried.
Interesting. Pope just said he's day-to-day, and they hope to take another swing at it, see if they can strengthen the shoulder. So that's not really optimistic, but you're like the perfect person to ask this. So I don't know if you have said this, and you'll correct me. I just don't remember. But Travis has said this a number of times, and a couple other people who have been in practice have told me this a number of times, that in practice, guys shoot lights out. Well, in games, they're not shooting lights out. It's a huge difference. I mean, I've been told by multiple people that Owe in practice shoots really good, and some other guys don't miss, but it's not transforming to the court. Is it pressure? Is it defense that's tougher versus what you see in practice? Come on, dude, you're a shooter. You'll always be a shooter. I'm sure you can make a free throw still with your eyes closed. Seriously. So what's your theory on this since you're a shooter?
Well, yeah, it's a couple of good points there, but here I'm going to go to something strong, but they all can shoot. Yeah, I agree. I'm like thinking my second guess there. I've been to they can shoot. I'm telling you, it makes it, of course, games are different than practice. We all know that. It's pressure, it's stress. In practice, come on, your mind knows it doesn't matter if you really miss, but in games, it matters. It matters. You might get only a few shots. But where I think it boils down to is the point guard. Lowe's way better at being a true point guard. He can get people open, Alan. They took, in my opinion, yes, they shot horrific, but some of these shots, Alan, were not good shots. When I watch a game, right when the shot goes up, I'll say that, but basically I'm talking, oh, that's a good shot. Several times was not a good shot, Alan. Some of the shots we took were out there. Chandler, he's been shooting pretty well. He shot well against Louisville. He was horrible the other night. But my point is, some of this could be guard-oriented, getting the ball in the right place, forcing the shot because no one could get quite open like they want. That's my theory. I think a good point guard helps with that. I don't think they got the looks they should have. And I think they, lack of a better word, I'm going to get my shot up because I just got it. But I don't think some of these shots were very good shots. That's my theory.
Okay. And my sense is I think we're agreeing there were times I thought guys were hunting shots versus, let's say, a point guard getting you the ball where you like it and you're comfortable and you take a shot. To me, it's two totally different things. What say you?
100%. You said it better than me. That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. So, and Oweh again, he was crazy good last year. Aggressive, getting to the hole, and crazy good defenses against him. I just think he needs to get in defense, though, to him, Alan. You've been over there. He didn't practice for a few months. So maybe all this is his foot and all that. He's getting back to it. So I think the next few weeks, we're going to play a lot more games, and let's see what happens. I'll be shocked if we don't get a lot better.
Backing up what you said about Oweh, and I said this the first show we did after the Blue White when he was on minute restrictions and stuff, and I said, look, folks, the kid's a great athlete. So what? He hasn't run in 3 months. Okay, hasn't run in 3 months, and he's not in shape. And I don't give a hoot how much you walk in one of those fancy pools that weren't around when you were there. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff over there, as you know, which
Right.
helps you out. But they ain't running on the court. It's two different things. So I said you're going to have to give him about 3 weeks. And so I had circled the Michigan State game, and so it looks like he's got the confidence maybe in his leg and foot again. And you would think by now he should be in really good running shape, but you can't be in running shape if you can't run for 3 months. I don't care how great of an athlete you are. I don't care if he's got a body fat of 10%. If you don't run, you don't run.
100%. And again, I think rotations and Coach Pope and all, they're trying to figure it out too. That's what they do. But yeah, Oweh's got to be the guy he was last year. I think he will be. And you've heard the things people say about the pros that, hey, you need to learn to shoot a three. Well, that's all well and good in practice. And yeah, he hit a three the other night. But his game, he's a gamer taking it to the hole and being the alpha dog that gets by people. So I think, again, Alan, hey, couple games, let's see what happens. I still think they'll be a lot better. But on a good note, you tell me, Alan, I have been impressed with Malachi in both the Louisville and Michigan State game. He seems to have the presence to him to know the game and know when to pass. I'm impressed with him so far. What say you?
I love him. As a matter of fact, he's
I do too.
Kid. He's got a feel. He's not as strong as he's going to be next year. One of the things I love that he's doing, and it's not working sometimes, and I've talked about this, he's gone up for dunks a few times during the season and missed, and that's okay. Next year, he will dunk those balls. But the fact that he's acting like a big man, I love it. He's a great rebounder. He's got a feel for it. And honestly, that was the next thing I was going to throw at you. I've been saying for weeks he should start over Garrison. That's me. Garrison looks, to me, lost. But Pope was very complimentary of Garrison in the last few minutes. I mean,
okay.
He's the boss. I can't tell if it's Pope as a coach, psychologically speaking, pushing the positive so you don't give up on a kid, which coaches do all the time, and he really pushes the positive. But, sometimes, and this has been a critic, Pope is, there's so much about Pope I love, but when you compliment a kid so much, it actually puts pressure on to the public, especially when you're not living up to that. One of the things he said today, BJ has made some massive improvements. And just some of the stuff he said, I'm going, okay, to me, it's not just one game, but that's me, and I ain't the coach. Pardon my bad grammar, I did on purpose. I would start Malachi over, I really would. And I've been saying it for weeks. I would definitely start him over Garrison.
Well, I don't know if I do that yet. My point is Pope knows his team, but I'm saying Malachi, he's got a lot of upside, and I'm very impressed. I hope Garrison comes around more. I agree. So you do have to pat him on that. You've got to keep giving. It's so early, Alan. You don't want anybody to give up, and we're probably going to need a good rotation anyway. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring Malachi's name up because I was very impressed. Again, I think some of our shot selection was pretty poor the other night. We jacked up some shots, Alan, from way out there. And all well and good when you're feeling it and going good, but I thought too many of them did that, and too many of them settled for that kind of shot.
And all that stuff, what you're saying, is very fixable.
Oh, I think so, yeah. So, I tell people, I see people every day. I'm not worried. Yeah, that was a horrible performance, yes. Let's see what happens. I think they'll get way better. They'll go work at it. They'll practice. And I pray that we can get our true point guard back because we're going to need him.
And if he doesn't come back, there's got to be a way to adjust because it's a
There
long
has to be.
season and there's a lot of talented kids on the team. In other words, is a team better with Lowe? Absolutely. But you can't believe with the roster that they've constructed that the season is just down the tubes if he can't play at a level where he's healthy.
100%. And I'm even thinking about last year when we got pretty unlucky last year in some injuries, and he tried different people until he found it doesn't have to be a true point guard. You get my point here. It could be Owe. My point is he can handle well enough and blow by people. It could be somebody you might like a point forward, if you follow me. It could be something like that with the right rotation to say, guys, this is what we're running now. Owe, you're there, or somebody else that could be in that type of position. I know they're trying to. I think they're trying to use the freshman. Come on, help me, Alan. Lefty.
Jasper. Talking about Jasper.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to, and again, he looked pretty good at times in some games, not in this one, but I'm just saying he could come around too. Tall, he can handle the ball. So I guarantee, like you said, they're gonna keep working on this, looking at different rotations, because you're correct. Even getting our guy back, we still need somebody else. And Aberdeen's good. He's very good, actually. But I don't know if he's that true point guard mentality to get other people open, right? To get him in the right position.
Yeah, well, they do different things. Like Aberdeen is a much better defensive player than Lowe, but Aberdeen can't make the first half against Louisville. Those two dunks that were really, you got to give Lowe all the credit to that. It was all Lowe's passes. And then he made another pass that was great. And then Lowe was terrible down the stretch in the second half. But Aberdeen hasn't shown he can make those passes. I think they each have pluses. They each have minuses.
100%. 100%. I'm a huge Aberdeen fan, just so you know. He's not a true point guard.
He's tough.
Right.
It should create a much better defensive presence, not knocking Lowe, but Aberdeen's he's a man. He's a strong man.
He is. I don't think he's the problem, because I think he'll give you 197%, that kid. But we just got to refine. People got to do what they do best.
I kind of think with him, tell me if I'm nuts, if he ends up that he has to play the point, that he will settle down. He will definitely settle down.
So.
And then maybe after 4 or 5 games become much better.
I would agree with that. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think they can work through this stuff. Saying, hey, you're our guy now. Here's what we expect. We still want you to be the dog, but when it's time to get the play right, get what we're trying to do. So, yeah, I do agree with that. So I'm not worried yet, Alan. I'm not worried.
Are you glad? I'm smiling, Jim, as I'm saying this. Jim Masters, sharpshooter from the early 80s, kind enough to join us for a couple more minutes. Trust me, I think you know me pretty well. This is smiling. Although I'm sure you'd probably like to go back and be 21 again, shooting with the three-point shot and all that kind of stuff. But I bet you're not upset that when you played, there was social media. And I got something after that. But, there were enough rumors about you guys to begin with. My gosh, with social media, they would have driven you guys out of your mind. I kind of feel for these kids, because it's easy to say stay off social media. They're kids. They're not going to stay off social media. They're just, and I don't blame them. They should do whatever the hell they want to do, by the way. That's not the point. But the point is, I think the social media can be driving these guys a little nuts, because where they come from, there was no level of social media like this.
100%. I totally agree. Totally agree with you. That social media hurts our society a little bit in a lot of other ways. But these kids, that's what they do, so it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough on them. They get instant analysis immediately, right off their cell phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me a funny story, and if you have one you want to add, that's fine. Derek Hort, he was coming off a bad game, and I'm getting phone calls a long time ago. Obviously, I'm getting phone calls to Steve TV station. He's packed up and left. He's left town, and I'm getting like 3 or 4 phone calls for that kind of thing. That's a lot of phone calls. That back then you can go to practice. So I did the interviews. We did a thing with Derek, whatever, and he's sitting down. And Joby was okay with us sitting on the side. I didn't usually stay because I had to go back and put the show together. I sit next to Derek and I say, "Hey, so you're still here?" And he goes, "What?" And I told him the story.
Yeah.
And instead of getting upset, he started laughing. And then he got up and he tapped me on the leg and said, "Hey, thanks for giving me a good chuckle," and went back on the court and hit his next shot, and I walked out. I can't imagine what it would have been like for you guys.
I agree with you. Yeah, every minute of every day you can get on your phone, right? So
and look at all the you guys. Everybody was a star. a big star. And so in today's world, you and Minifield and Horde and Bowie and Turpin, I'm sure I'm forgetting, Charlie Hurd, who could break wood just by staring at it. God bless Charlie Hurd. But it would have been nuts for you guys.
Yeah, I agree. Alan, I agree. I think of those things like that and the NIL and all that, how crazy. It's just way different now, way different. Everything's different. So you got to adjust, though. You got to adjust.
Jimmy Dykes put up something I couldn't disagree with him more. I often disagree with Jimmy Dykes, and that's okay. He's coached. I never did. It's all good. We all got our own opinions. And he basically took a shot at Kentucky, which is fine. I don't care about that part. Everybody got to do their own thing. I give pro and con also. He said, this shows you can't buy a team. And I'm going, that's absurd because St. John's bought a team, right? I can name really quick 20 schools that bought teams. They just spent different amount of money. It's nonsense. This stuff about, Kentucky bought a team. They're not the only ones.
I thought you were going to use the line, everybody buys their team. Everybody's paid. Every college, five, what am I trying to say, the big five, they all buy their teams. I mean, so I don't know what he meant. Everybody's paid at Tennessee. Everybody's paid at Alabama. Everybody's paid at Kansas. Everybody's paid at Duke. Boozer. I'm just saying, I don't know. That comment, I would totally agree with you. Like, what do you mean? They're all bought.
Yeah.
Just that some players turn out to be better than other players. There you go. So.
It's really cool. And I actually, this is part of the end. First of all, God bless, more power to what anybody can make. I've always been like that. I'm not changing because people are upset about NIL. You know how stubborn I am. I think you do, Jim. But the point is, what's really cool? Women are making a lot of money. Softball players are making a lot more money than I thought. Volleyball players are making some money. Women's basketball players, the last 3-4 years, it's not equal to the men yet. But then again, if you have 6,000 people in an arena, there's different amount involved than if you have 20,000 people. But, what I would call some of the minor sports, they're getting money. I think it's great. You get a kid who's getting $50,000 for playing softball or volleyball or something like that. To me, show them, they should call you. What you do with finance, you show them how to invest their money.
Yep. Well, hopefully those young people across the country are getting some advice because, they're lucky to be making this. Most of these kids are, Alan, there's only 250 kids that'll be in the NBA, every couple of years or something. Well, all these kids in college are making more money than they'll ever make. They'll never be a pro. Never. Most of them. And they're getting paid to play basketball. So they are a pro. So in college, they should take advantage of that and correct. Be wise, save their money, invest their money. That's what they should do because they got a crazy advantage. So anyway.
I like how you dissected the difference between the Louisville loss and the Michigan State loss, by the way. You know what your problem is? You're being logical. You're showing a lot of maturity, Jim.
There you go. Well, I'm getting old. That is maturity there.
Anything else about the Kentucky team that floats your boat? And I always appreciate your time. It's just fun talking to you, dude, and catching up.
Well, the next few weeks, just like you got to play games. I bet we'll see improvement. I bet we'll see a different character. I bet we'll see even possibly more effort. I bet we'll see better defense. I bet we'll see more toughness. Pretty sure that's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 or 5 games.
You want to give a plug for your business for those who don't know?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah. Well, yeah. I've worked at Baird and I have a blast. So I've been doing this, Alan, for so long, 32, 33 years, work with my brother. It's all good.
Now I have a very serious question. I'm really going to paint you to the wall at the end. You okay with this?
Go ahead.
How's your Sarah team doing?
Well, we've only had a scrimmage game. We got another scrimmage game this weekend, and we'll see. But I think our starting 5 on the varsity, I really do. I think we've got 5 or 6, 7, 8 kids that'll play pretty well on our varsity team. I think that. So
you love the coaching?
Oh, I helped. I coached way more last year and the year before. So I'm around. I drive the bus if they need it driven to the game or something. I'm trying to stay away from it a little bit. My son plays Alan, so letting him do it all on his own. But, yeah, I'm over there quite a bit. So.
Good for you. But I would think watching your son is just a tremendous blessing.
And stressful. So there you go.
You're going to tell me what thousands of parents, not thousands, but tons of parents have told me.
Exactly.
You're more stressed watching your son than you were when you stepped on the court.
Oh, that's easy. 100%. That's easy. Yeah. Easy.
Hey, appreciate your time. Bless you, dude. Have a great turkey. Hopefully after turkey sometime in December, you can squeeze a few minutes and we can talk again.
Okay, buddy. Be good. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Jim Master, that was great.
Okay.
He's such a good dude. And boy, could he shoot. You know, it's funny when he comes on, I probably should have said it. I think of that shot he hit on the baseline against Louisville, sending it to overtime in the game. Talk about pressure. Woo! Seriously, talk about pressure and handling it. I mean, that's crazy. It's just really crazy, the pressure. You know, Jimmy, before your time, Bowie, if I remember right, is the only basketball player, and if somebody else has done it, somebody correct me, to be a first-team All-American without playing a second 2 years in a row. You know, he and Turpin and Minifield and Master and Horde and Hurt. I mean, it's amazing how much talent that they had. Just absolutely amazing. And there was tons of pressure back then. This stuff with pressure is not new with Kentucky basketball. And I can't imagine, I really can't imagine all the rumors that would have surrounded those guys had there been social media. Just can't imagine. So let's run down a couple things. Mo has an ankle problem, probably won't practice today. So said Pope in his press conference, which we had live. And if you missed it, the podcast will be up by 2:30. You can check it out on the ESPN Sports Lexington app. That's one. And Lowe is day to day. And the quote is, Pope said, it's a matter of stability and strength. We will see what we get, meaning in rehab, and take another swing at it if we can. So, Jimmy, now he read it. I read it exactly this way. I ain't sure. They're just not sure. You know, when you say take another swing at it if we can, that leads me to believe that this kid wants to play if he can. You know, here's what I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I don't know. You know, I don't know if he's been told, see if you can do it and we'll fix your shoulder after the season. Don't know that. I don't know if they're saying, see if you can do this, and if you can't, rest and recover from there. Don't know. But I'm huge on if there's a shot of delaying surgery, the shoulder doesn't get better when you get bumped around. And I'm just really ridiculously tough on that. I've lived through it. I understand it. These guys are athletes. You get bumped. The other thing, you know, he said, I think our guys love each other. So he poo-pooed the chemistry problems. But I'm not sure they're playing well together. And I think he kind of hinted at that. And so that is chemistry as well. And you can get along and guess what? Have some chemistry problems on the court. And as far as that little bickering that happened on the court, I could care less about that. If you don't think some of that stuff goes on behind closed doors at times, you know, it's sports. It's macho. It happens. So when that happened, I'm looking and going, it's going to become an issue. Oh, okay. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It actually could be healthy. Guys are saying what they think. Hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. To me, that was overblown. And Jason Hart, UK assistant, went back on Twitter and said this pregame mess, there was nothing to it. And Pope said, hey, you know, it was a dud. There was nothing there. I'm a little baffled slightly when he said, this is a quote, BG has been tremendous. And I know he had a bad game, but am I allowed to disagree with Pope? Am I allowed to disagree with Pope?
I think so.
You think there might be a few other people disagreeing with me as well?
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's ever been a time to disagree with him, I think that statement probably had a lot of people disagreeing.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's doing it just to build him up, saying, okay, I don't want to give up on the kid. I don't want to bury him on the bench. I think that there's something there. I've invested a year plus in this kid, and I think he can get it, that kind of stuff. That's how I interpret it. I don't know that for sure, but that sounds like what Mark would do. You know, pump the kid up. He likes to pump up and saying, okay, we can salvage this and we can fix this. That's how I read that. And you know, they're playing similar minutes. It's not like Marino's playing 5 minutes and he's playing 35. I'm exaggerating. And so, you know, the minutes, the distribution, it's close. And so he might say, you know what? I don't want to put pressure on Marino, start him as a freshman. That wouldn't bother me, but that's okay. That's okay. And the fact that it took that long to come out to talk to the media, about 45 minutes, he said it was not great on his part. I'm not surprised that Pope didn't take the blame for that. Not surprised. But I'll tell you what, you can take the blame, and that's fine. 45 minutes, or whatever the heck it was, is 45 minutes. That is a long One more time? Long time. And the fact is, he needs to do a better job answering questions. I'm sure most fans don't care, but I think that's part of the JOB. I also think that you're telling your kids and your players how to handle yourself when things are bad. I really think that's a big thing. You're going to have adversity. Every team has adversity, okay? What are you? How do you handle it when things don't go well? How do you handle it? How do you handle it? So I want Owe, like everybody else, to go back to playing the way he was last year. I don't want him hunting threes. If he's open, shoot the three. I'm sure some of you will disagree. If you're open, you're set, shoot the three. Hunting for threes? No. And as Jim said, they took some bad shots. They took some bad shots. Okay? And obviously, Jim has seen it. Travis has seen it. A couple others that I know have been to practice have seen it, that these guys shoot tons better in practice than they do in games. Whether it's pressure, whether it's getting the ball where they want, whether it's not having to work as hard for a shot, I don't know. I'm going to guess it's a combination of all the above. All the above. And that would be normal. It really will. We're going to switch a little bit and talk a little football with Van Hiles. We'll also mention, with good reason, UK women's basketball. You know, I've said this for years, and I don't understand it, and it makes no sense to me. Jimmy, with computers, it's so stupid. I've said this forever, that the men and women play on the same night. And it ticked me off because I wanted to go to the Kentucky-Purdue game. I did. And I had a credential, and I emailed a number of days before, said I'm not going to make it. And they knew why. And by the way, they were, just nice and gracious about it. It's not the point. I don't understand how you can't figure this out. I really don't. I just don't. It's a travesty that the men's and women's basketball team have to play on the same night. It just is. Now, one of the things I like this weekend, I'm going to sit down and watch Kentucky and Louisville play basketball, the women, on Saturday. And you know what's really cool, Jimmy? The game is at 2, and Kentucky and Vandy in football is at 3:30. Is that like perfect?
It's like they did it on purpose.
The hell they did.
Don't give them that much credit.
No, I'm not giving them any credit at all. So this is what I'll do. If the Kentucky-Louisville game down the stretch is tight, I'm not turning over to the Vandy game because I'm taping it, and I can start a couple minutes late, and you can catch up. Really, why would I leave the Kentucky women's game against Louisville if it's like tight down the stretch? Why? That's how much respect I have for the women's program. If it's a great game going down the stretch, no. And by the way, I've done this many times. I can watch a football game, not watch the halftime. I shouldn't say this, Jimmy. Go through the commercials, and I can get to the fourth quarter and catch up. I've done this many times. I do it with basketball as well. I just do. You can do it. You absolutely unequivocally can do it. So I know what I would have done. Had the women played the same time as men, I would tape it and kind of watch the highlights later. And that's what I did with Kentucky and Purdue. I looked at the highlights. I was curious. I read the story. I looked at the box, all that kind of stuff. I read the quotes. I listened to them sound, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to see some buckets. So that is what I did. And my suggestion for you is what you might want to do is go see Terry Page, a great licensed massage therapist, 859-373-0578. 859-373-0578 in Lexington on Regency Road. Text her to get an appointment. In Lexington, Thursday and Friday. In Butler, Kentucky, Monday and Tuesday. She's got some spots open next week. I know she's taking, obviously, Thanksgiving off. And parts of the year, she's booked up like crazy and overbooked, and sometimes she's not. And I don't understand why she's not booked up a month in advance, seriously, because she is that good. Terry Page, a friend, a healer. She's special, 859-373-0578. Van Hiles coming up next. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials, including Old Trapper Jerky 4-ounce bags for $8.99 and assorted Snickers standard size candy bars, 2 for $3.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pumpkin Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pumpkin Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal! 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quattro family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
My name is Terry Schultz, CEO for the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity. Republic Bank has really been a game changer. They have invested not only financially, but time to really listen so that we can move our mission forward. What I like about Republic Bank is they've come in asking, what are your needs? And I don't know that you get that any other place.
That's Terry's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
W223CV Lexington. ESPN Sports Radio 1300 and 92.5. WLXG Lexington and LM Communications Broadcasting Station. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
It was great. I just mentioned that just felt like a good fall practice, like old school, like high school type deal, a little bit of mist out there and a lot of energy. So that was awesome. I like that. I'm a little juiced right now, honestly.
He's a little juiced. That's pretty good. Let me tell you something. Have I heard 100 of these things from Brad White? Oh, yeah. Van Haas, let me tell you, he had an enthusiasm in his voice I'm not sure I've ever heard. And I think Van Hiles, it's all about he's having fun. His kids are working hard. They're doing what I've never seen him talk like this. Old school practice. Yeah, the weather was great. It was fun. He's basically saying guys are flying around. We're doing the right things. He was excited because he very often, only about 99% of the time, is kind of monotone. Not ripping it for that. That's just usually what he is. But this was like out of character in a lovely way. Van Hiles, former Studley DB for Kentucky, had a cup of coffee with the Chicago Bears, is a media mongrel with all the things that you do. And before I forget, why don't you plug your show on Wednesday night with the calm and loquacious Anthony White?
You got me. I was preparing to say something. You got me with the ending, man. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Locker on the Locker 411 on all social media platforms. You missed the dandy last night. I would say this, since you allowed me to plug it. The great thing about that show is it's unscripted. That's really the best thing because we have no idea where we're going, which way we're going. So tangents are not a problem. Because we go on many. And I think that's the fun and great part about that show.
So someday you'll say it's no filter.
Yeah, but we have always been no filter now. And we're not governed by FCC.
Well, that's true.
We say something.
If you want, because I've heard the show, if you want to say you're more no filter than me, I would say that's correct based upon the fact that I don't want Jimmy to hit a certain button.
Exactly.
There are, you've seen the routine, George Carlin, the 7 words you're not supposed to say.
Yes.
You know, he went to court over that.
Really?
Yeah, I love George Carlin.
Huh.
I love George. He was so smart. During the pandemic, we were all looking for things to do.
Yep.
One night I'm just messing around on YouTube, which I never used to do, but I was that bored. And I found one of his routines, and I bet I have watched, I don't know how many of his shows. And it's amazing. This stuff on there from the 80s and whatever.
Yeah.
He was so smart, and his pausing and timing, and he was a wordsmith. And then I saw an article, he actually hand wrote all that out.
Oh. Wow.
Seinfeld, he would handwrite his jokes. Still does to this day.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I thought they ad lib more of that than not, but that's interesting.
In the Seinfeld show, they did some ad libs around the script. They did do that, but as far as the script is concerned, they handwrote it.
Huh.
And the thing was, and I get this in a weird way, that's what their comfort zone is. So you don't want to change your mindset. It's kind of old school.
Okay.
And he sits and writes comedy Seinfeld. He says every single day. He said it's his love and addiction. Interesting.
Wow.
I don't know why I'm getting on this tangent.
Wow, that's crazy.
I went to Hebrew school with him.
Did you?
Yeah, didn't even know it. No, it's the truth. Did not know it, but I remember his dad. Not that I knew his dad, but back then, for a long time period, vans with families was a big thing. Well, his dad had a work van, and it was one of the few I'd ever seen. And I didn't even know that we went to the same school until my mother told me. After the Seinfeld show had been on for a year, had no idea.
Wow.
And one time,
crazy.
my mother, God rest her soul, said, "You watch a Seinfeld show?" And I said, "No." I said, "Because I'm anchoring. I'm doing the show." He said, "You went to Hebrew school with him." I went, "No."
Wow. That's crazy.
At the time, I lived in Massapequa, and I knew he lived in Massapequa, and I have an idea where he lived and stuff like that. But I never would buy his house or something. You have no idea the people that, that kind of thing.
Right.
After that, I started watching the show a little bit when I could. And then when I retired, because I missed most of the shows, I went back and you start taping stuff. YouTube is kind of funny. They won't let you do it in
right.
Here. So if you just start taping the show, it's like season 6, half of it would be there. And then a couple months later, half of season 7. And if you wait, eventually they all filled in. So I wait till it's all filled in, and I binge watched the whole series in about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was great.
That's cool.
I don't know why I went on that tangent, but neither here nor there. Okay. Don't BS me. Give me a definitive yes.
Okay.
Or a definitive no. Does Kentucky win in Music City?
Yes. Yes.
Now, hang on. Are you saying that for a guy who bled for Kentucky? Are you saying
no.
a guy that loves Kentucky, or can you honestly be objective?
Look, I had us winning 6 games this year. If everything went right, 7. So that was objective. This is why I feel confident about this game. And we have talked about this for a long time. What I said before the South Carolina game, this season rests on the shoulders of Cutler Bowley. How well he plays is going to dictate the results the rest of the season. Been saying that for a long time. The reason why I feel confidence about this game is solely because of Cutler Bowley. This offense can put 30 points on Vandy. Vandy's secondary is not the strength. They have a chance to go to Nashville and have some retribution for what happened last year at Commonwealth. I think this game is to our advantage for a lot of reasons. Vanderbilt has look, for a program that has never been consistently successful, they are on the cusp of making the playoffs. That brings pressure. And they play Tennessee the next game. That brings a sense of, let's just win this game to get to the next one. There's a level of pressure, stress. If we keep this game until the fourth quarter, I think they're going to fold. And our offense is at the level that I feel confident in. If we get in a shootout, that they can win a shootout. Okay. That's why.
Hang on.
That's why I feel good about the game.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm doing it on purpose. Fold? You just said with the great Pavia, you used the word fold. You used the word fold. I'm shocked. I might have to sit down, You're shocking the blank out of me. Fold?
That defense will have a problem. And if our offense is successful, that's what you saw last week against Auburn, 2 weeks ago against Auburn, how they had issues. You all right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hitting the cough button. I'm actually, for one of the few times in the last 5 years, I'm taking some medication, and I don't have COVID, I don't have a fever, but I got gunk in my throat.
Okay.
I'm actually on medication. I don't believe in medication, but there's a time and place for everything, so I'm on 2 different kind of things.
All right.
I coughed for about 15 minutes last night, nonstop, and my stomach hurts from coughing.
Yes, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's not fun. So I hit the cough button, and you get to talk more. You love.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was at first. I'm like, okay, that's just old Cutler. Jimmy, are we okay? so here's what I mean by fold is I think that defense will have problems. Diego brought that team back 2 weeks ago against Auburn. That they were dead to rights. Auburn didn't execute in the fourth quarter like they should have offensively. I don't think we're going to have that problem. And I think that's the difference between this team. If we played Vanderbilt 5 weeks ago, I would say we lose it. But now, with the way the offense is progressing, this is a game I think we get.
You know, you didn't say one thing I thought you were going to say first, and that is Kentucky smashed Auburn's offense. They just destroyed him. Yet Auburn then goes and loses an overtime game, but they scored 38 points on Auburn.
Yep.
You know, by the same token, credit to the defense, the week before Kentucky plays Florida, 24-20, Georgia beats Florida.
Correct.
Yet Kentucky's defense smacks Florida. And it's amazing. The excuses around here are just obtuse. In other words, well, Florida stinks. Okay, Florida's not Steve Spurrier. I get that. But Georgia's pretty good. Duh.
Yeah.
And if you're within 4 points of Georgia, duh. Okay, that's pretty good. And then you can't score against Kentucky, duh. And you go down and play Vandy and you score 38. Granted, you lose in overtime, but you score 38. And so, you know, I don't think these kids on defense, with all their injuries, I got to tell you, I'm not so sure that the turnaround during the season, and I want you to comment on whatever you want, but in particular this, I'm not so sure that the defensive change, which hasn't gotten enough respect because it's all about Cutler, with good reason, by the way. I don't think the defense change has gotten enough love. And then you add all the injuries they have, which is crazy. And in my mind, you tell me, this is the biggest defensive change under the Mark Stoops era during a season since he moved to Lexington, KY. During the season.
I don't know about change, but I will say this. I didn't expect this team the last couple weeks to play as well in the secondary as they have on their third and fourth corner, fifth corner, I guess technically, for us, and then on our second safety. And we're playing with a young safety in Cam Dooley who is progressing too. The great thing about this defense is this, and this is what makes it easier on Coach White, is that when you can stop the run, you can scheme guys in coverages against quarterbacks sometimes to protect the back half. When you can't stop the run, that means those linebackers have to play more run. You have to call certain defenses, and then it makes it hard on the secondary. Being able to stop the run with those dudes up front has really saved our season. That's the only reason why this defense is playing well, because that front three has been balling out since day one.
They've done a much better job than advertised.
Much better. Yeah, it's like this, and this is true. We have not talked about a guy who had much press about him because he's a hometown kid in Burton for the last 3 years. We have heard nothing about him this year because he's been playing well. The same thing with the defensive line.
Well, hang on. Let me disagree with you. I'll tell you the things that we've heard, and it's a tremendous compliment when you have his coach, Wolford, when you have offensive linemen say that oftentimes, and you know this, when you come in the portal, oftentimes your new teammates don't accept you. And it can become a very cold situation because you might be taking either that person's job or a friend of theirs job.
Right.
And what has been said is Burton welcomed the offensive line transfers with open arms. Burton went out of his way to organize stuff. Burton made sure that these kids all got together and made the adjustment time period for these guys much easier. And that is a tremendous compliment for a young man who's playing by far his best ball, young man who might be drafted. I know they're looking at him as a draft choice. A guy will absolutely be in somebody's camp.
Yes.
It's not going to surprise me. You heard it here first if he ends up in an all-star game. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So I know what you're saying because he took a lot of crap early on and he really wasn't ready to play. And that's not a negative towards him. He just wasn't ready to play. And they threw him in the fire because they were desperate. That's what happens. You often put somebody in when you're desperate, and he took a lot of crap, and that could have ruined the kid. Not only did it not ruin the kid, he came out on the other end, and he's having a hell of a senior year. And plus, he does things for charity, this, that, and the other. He's a wonderful young man, and now a hell of a football player.
Exactly. And he could have left. Not only did he go through all the outside the building negativity, criticism, he stayed here and fought through that. That's a telling sign. And that same thing with that is this defensive front. Gusta has played amazing football. Even we've had injuries there, but Humphrey Grace and all those guys and Saunders when he's healthy and Gatson and all those young kids have really played well this season and honestly allowed the linebackers a little bit more margin of error to find themselves, find their footing. Because Rayner just started playing to his level of talent the last 3 to 4 games, and those guys up front allow him to find themselves. And now he's playing well. And now when you get the middle of the defense playing well, man, it's hard for an opposing offense to have success, and that's why the last couple of games, the most points we've given up is 10 points.
I can see Cutler being named the freshman of the year in the Southeastern Conference.
He has to be. And look, I'm going to say something since you said no filter. It's easier winning freshman of the year in the SEC because not too many freshmen play. If you think about it, in this conference, there's so much talent, most guys don't. But I'm going to say this. He honestly, and I know it won't happen, but is he possibly the second best quarterback in the conference? In conference play?
Who do you like better?
That's what
Pavia. Hello?
Yeah. No, I thought you said second. I guess the guy at Ole Miss, Chambliss, is probably second.
I think the kid at Ole Miss is second.
Yeah.
Coming from a D2 school.
Don't do that. Don't do the D2 school. Let's not preface it with, we thought you're gonna stink and no.
I didn't say that. SEC. No. See, you know what? You're so sensitive.
I like the story. Don't start the story where he's a D2 kid. I don't like that.
Because, well, let's put it this way. The Tennessee quarterback came from a much smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was actually, when you rudely interrupted me, which I do to you only all the time when I open my mouth, I actually think because he came from a D2, it made it a better story. My point is, why weren't there 50 colleges after this kid? And I don't know the story, but I wonder why he didn't get recruited on a higher level. But I will say this, and I have believed this forever. I don't know enough about his background. You probably know more. I'm just being honest. That kid was better going to a D2 and playing more right away than going to the SEC and sitting on his fanny for 2 years. Because playing time is playing time is playing time. He's a pro. You know, when I saw his first game and he's running, okay, so I'm thinking, okay, you're a runner. Well, let's see your arm. Oh, he's got a strong arm. Oh, he's really accurate. Oh, he's a big, strong kid. Oh, what the hell was he doing at the school where he was at? I mean, and that's not being disrespectful. That's like saying, where are the Toledos and all these other schools in the world that should have been on this kid like crazy? Is he the third or fourth best quarterback? Now, answer this honestly. Is the kid at Tennessee a better quarterback?
No. Cutler is 4.
Who's 3?
Ty Simpson. I'm looking at. I'm going through the list of quarterbacks teams.
Okay. Now,
It'll be
okay. What about Georgia?
Gunnar Stockton. I honestly think Cutter's better.
Wow.
I honestly think Cutter right now. I'm picking Cutter over Stockton. The only guys I'm not picking Cutter over is Simpson, Chambers, and Diego. I'm looking at the whole list of quarterbacks. That's it. Because now the next tier would be Marcel Reed and Green.
Hang on. Marcel Reed is having a spectacular year all year. I'm sorry, for the whole year.
Yeah,
you're going to
right now
Cutter.
I'm picking Cutter for sure because I've watched Marcel the whole year,
and I have.
And
wait a second, hang on. I haven't watched all his games. I've watched highlights from every game.
Yeah, he's a highlight machine.
Yeah, he is.
But he has problems. If you watch the last week game against South Carolina, that first half was garbage.
Okay, so give me the order right now.
I'll go Diego. I would go Chambers. Then I go Ty Simpson. Then I go Cutter. The way he's been playing, yes, for sure.
In your humble opinion, or just abuse that word, in your humble opinion, you're going to tell me what I'm thinking. All 4 of these guys are NFL quarterbacks. I didn't say pick first.
Okay.
With the right team. See, I think Diego can play. And by the way, have you seen him at a uniform?
No.
Hey, he's strong.
I'm sure.
No, he's strong. He's got great balance, and he's got that thing that NFL, as you know, teams want. He can really throw it on the run.
I would say this. Out of those 4 guys, out of the 3, because Cutter is a freshman, so it's kind of hard to. If he keeps progressing, he would be the better out of all 4 of those guys. If he keeps progressing like he is, but
if he keeps on progressing, he will absolutely, unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, be the highest draft choice of all of them.
Yes, for sure.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if he keeps on progressing, I don't know what's going to be like his senior year. I don't know if
you just don't know.
Let's put it this way: if he keeps on playing the way he's playing, he ain't going to be a senior. He's not going to be a senior.
Right. Well, he'll be a redshirt junior and he'll be gone. Yes, I agree.
Okay, but if he keeps on improving, he's a top 10 pick in the NFL. There's a ton of happening between now and then because you don't think he's peaked. I don't think he's peaked. No.
He has top 10 talent.
Top 10 talent. He's got the right size.
He's got the right size.
He's got the right
brain. He can move.
He
He has everything.
Yeah. And guys like playing with him too, which is one of the unspoken things.
Out of those 3, I say Ty Simpson probably has the better chance of have a longer tenure in NFL.
Because?
I'm going to say this, and I don't like to say this, but I think above the ear, he's a little better. Because all this stuff Diego is doing, I'm not sure he can do that on the next level.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and what I mean by because right now, this guy has played in one system for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a system. So
yeah, it's a PhD level.
Oh, he could now become a quarterback coach tomorrow for that particular system.
Exactly. So that's the concerning part.
But give me this though. His ability to improvise off understanding the system, and I'm sure he's more comfortable because he understands the system. He knows the back of his hand. But his ability to improvise, you can't negate that. It's a beautiful trade. It's the things the NFL guys want.
I'm not sure he can hit that improvisation as much on the next level as he does now.
That's a fair comment.
That's all.
I don't know either. By the way, I'm not saying he's a first-round draft choice.
No. I don't think. I'm going to tell you this.
He's a second-day pick, if not a free agent, because of his size.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't think any quarterback coming out next year of this draft class is first-round talent. Not one.
But
Mendoza,
somebody who needs a quarterback might amplify
they're going to reach.
talents, and they might reach.
They're going to reach. But I don't think there's a quarterback this season that is worthy of, because he's going to go top 5. I don't think there's any quarterback this year worthy of being a top 5 pick.
I'm going to change topics on you. Ready?
Yeah.
I think this is really stupid.
Uh-oh.
Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
He has decided with his mouth over $100 million how to take care of load management and guys sitting out games, that you have to play a maximum of 33 minutes a game. What?
Huh?
What?
Whoa, this is NBA?
Yeah.
Whoa, you have to play. So you can only play 33 minutes.
You can sit for 50.
Oh my God. So okay, yeah. I'm not even because are you gonna regulate that? Okay. So overtime game. So the starters can't play?
No. You can't play. You can't play less than 33 minutes.
Oh, that's even worse. What if I get in foul trouble?
Well, that would and then you could say, hey, did somebody foul on purpose?
Yeah, come on, dude. Yeah, that makes. He really said that out loud?
Does he ever say anything silently?
Oh my.
By the way, here's a great stat. I said it yesterday, and that little streak is over. SGA went a whole week because OKC is 15-1.
Mm-hmm.
They went a whole week without him playing in the fourth quarter because they didn't need him. Think about that.
Yeah. So now, man, look. Here's the deal, man. This is what I hate about getting old, is that I got to hear old guys talk about what happened when they played, and it wouldn't have never happened this way. Like the whole Shadur Sanders, like, oh, starters get no reps. Well, how starters don't get reps? Well, what? Like that whole thing, man. Y'all need to. The days have changed, Mr. Cutler. My dad in high school, he's from a rural part of Mississippi. At the age of 17, since where he lived was so far away from the school and a bus driver retired, he drove the bus at 17.
No.
He drove the bus to school. So he played football, he drove the bus, dropped the kids off, drove it back to football practice, and drove the bus home. Because next morning, he picks up the kids, drive them to school, drive them back home. Can you imagine someone letting that 17-year-old kid drive a bus now?
No.
Right. Times have changed. If you want to talk about what happened when you played, dude, that's them pass you by. The days have changed. Equipment have changed. Level of talent of kids have changed. Training has changed. I hate that. Well, because Michael Jordan played such and such minute. Come on. Get off. Hate that.
Rankled you. Last one. I got 1 minute. Let me throw it out here. Reed Shepherd. I keep on talking about him all the time. He is shooting 47% from downtown, 48% from the field. His free throws are terrible, 66%. I would think he'd be 82.
He must not be shooting many.
Doesn't make a difference. It still should be better. He's having a spectacular season. Spectacular. Last night he played the most minutes off the bench for Houston, who, by the way, is probably the hottest team in the NBA. He's averaging 12.5 points a game. He's having a spectacular year. I'm so proud of the kid. It's unbelievable.
We saw here, I'm going to tell you something that I don't watch Houston enough, but I do watch them because of KD. And getting KD there, to me, is helping Reed out a lot. Not just Reed, but helping those young guys out a lot. Because as a young guy, you need a veteran. And a veteran whom everybody respects. And a veteran who is not just an a-hole. Someone whom you respect. And I think that is the difference.
Not only that, but Katie puts his arm around Reed, which is beautiful. Got to go. Bless you, brother. I appreciate you tremendously. And I'm going to do this more often, pick on something I know will get your fire burning.
You don't know what does, but you just found one.
Oh, no. I can find plenty. Van, you're the best.
Y'all have a good one, man.
Have a great weekend, and you're going to be right. Thank you. Hey, I hope I'll talk to you before, but if not, seriously, happy turkey time to you and your family.
You're right. Same to you and Jimmy. Take Wednesday and Thursday off next week. You got it on me.
What a good guy.
Go ahead, say goodbye to Jimmy. You're not going to say goodbye to me.
All right, Jimmy. You have a good one, man.
You too, Van.
Have a good weekend. All right, bye.
I can't say goodbye to me. Did you see his smirk, Jimmy?
I did. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Tell you what else is pretty cool. Blue Lotus Health, 859-533-0914, 859-533-0914. Acupuncture. My friend, Ramon Carriega, now also providing a licensed massage therapist, acupuncture. He's helped me not a little. He's helped me a ton. A ton. I respect him. He's really smart on Versailles Road, not that far from the radio station. Blue Lotus Health, please use my name when you call. Please. 859-533-0914. Down memory lane with Danny Haney, a great high school coach back in the day in Lexington. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrell Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quantrell family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
I'm Kathy Binkaman. Over the holiday, there was an attempted fraud attack. My personal banker, Mary Rose, and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
This is Brent Clark with my daughter, Carlisle.
We want to help you get ready for the holidays. So if you are just headed around the block or far away, stop in, gas up, and get some yummy treats for the car. Check out our holiday specials including Mentos or Trident Vibes bottle pack gum for $3.99 or Uncle Ray's potato chips 3-ounce bags for $1.99.
So no matter where your holiday travels take you, stop in any Clark's Pumpkin Shop and get stocked up on holiday candy, and thank you for being a customer.
Clark's Pumpkin Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
We had Pope's press conference live very briefly. Low is day to day. They hope to take another swing at it. In other words, in playing, Mo Diabate has an ankle problem, probably won't practice today. And Pope also said, there's no chemistry problem. My guys love each other, but admitted they're not playing well and admitted it was his fault. He took forever to get out after the game to talk to the media and Tom Leach. Wow. I haven't talked to you so long. Last time I talked to you, you didn't have any white hair. It's been a long time.
I've had it for a while. Look at you, man.
I was white when you were still here.
Well, that's true.
2002, this gentleman ran a fun offense. As a matter of fact, they should run your offense here at Kentucky. Get the ball across the midcourt line, take the first good shot, boom, keep on running. Won the state championship in 2002. You built a powerhouse at Lexington Catholic. And quite a long time ago, Chip Rupp says, you remember Danny Haney? He said, well, of course I do. He says, he listens to your show in Florida. So we have people listening all over. But one, I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you. And two, you keep up with Lexington and KY. So tell everybody what you're doing now, and then we'll get your 2 cents on what you think of Kentucky.
Yeah, I've been down here about 20 years now, a little bit over 23. I work for an educational company called Nord Anglia, where we're a for-profit, high-end educational company. They own about 89 schools in 34 countries.
Wow.
And I oversee 28 of them in 11 countries. So I have all the South and Central America region and North America, and speak no Spanish. But I do, so I oversee the athletics. I'm in facilities, so I help design gyms, turf fields, work with athletic directors, etc. So I've been out of coaching for 16 years, or 20 years now, but I do a lot of traveling. So I'm in South and Central America a lot.
Wow. Do you like it?
Oh, I love it. It's still my fix. I love work. I've always loved working in facilities. Once I did the Lexington Catholic Gym, I fell in love with that part of athletics, and seeing how bodies move and hallways should be and locker rooms, and had some great mentors there with Father Buter. So I've enjoyed it. I keep up with, Lexington Catholic and all of my buddies that are coaching. So I've got a lot of former players that are coaching. So that's my fix. That I do miss it, but they win, I win, they lose, I lose. So that's kind of what happens. So,
and that's cool. The two high school coaches I said on TV back in the day that Eastern Kentucky should have hired from the high school ranks to be the head coach of the basketball team, and they made some bad hires. They got a good one now, but they made some bad hires. Would have been you and Feldhouse. Both of you guys, I think, would have been big-time coaches at Eastern Kentucky, and they weren't smart enough to hire you. And it sounds like it's a good thing they didn't, because look how successful you are.
I came close once to hitting that button. They talked to me a couple times, but they've done well. I love A.W. Hamilton. Would have been a kid I would love to coach. And Alan Feldhouse, I mean, guys like him and Billy Hicks, my God, they were, I love competing against those guys. Those are two of the best out there. And yeah, Alan would have been a great hire for Eastern.
In his backyard with the family, and as smart as he is, I thought that was. I'm not saying this for the first time too. I've said it before. And AW, they're lucky to have him. He's a great guy, and if he probably wasn't from the area, he probably would have been gone to a bigger job and stuff like that. They're lucky to have him. Class act. When you learn under Billy Hicks, look, I could have been a real good coach if I couldn't have played for Billy Hicks, but if I learned under Billy Hicks, I would have been a good coach.
Yeah, he was the best, and I was blessed. I had great, Chip Rupp's one of the guys that you had on there, and Sean Woods. Both of them worked with me. Both were on my staff. Sean's first job was down in Florida with me, and then Chip. I tell you what, I know Chip is the problem with Chip. Well, here's the problem with Chip. First of all,
I want to hear this. I want to hear the problem of Chip. Come on.
I'm going to tell you. First of all, the good thing is, I know he's got a great business, and he's a great leader in Lexington, a great supporter, but he would have been a hell of a basketball coach. He's one of the best that I've ever worked with. The problem with him is I couldn't keep up with his dress code. He was bringing in his Armani suits and his good looks and all that. And I said, Chip, you got to scale this back, man. I'm a Catholic teacher here, but he should have, well, I'm glad. I know he's done very successful in business, but he was special, Alan. Chip Rupp would have coached at a very, very high level, very talented. And so was Sean. I mean, Sean, I had him for the 1 year, and then he went to High Point. He was the dean of our faculty, or dean of the students there in South Florida. The players loved him, but his on-court knowledge of the game, working with the guards, it was phenomenal. And he knew his place in line, and he was just really good. And of course, anytime you can have a guy like him on your staff, you're blessed to have. But both those guys were very special. Very special.
You watch Kentucky. Both are good friends. They do the show, and I appreciate the friendship of both of them. You look at Kentucky, and I don't know how many games you've watched.
Yeah.
Travis Ford was really good yesterday. Jim Master was really good today. Yeah. Your sense of where this team is, what they're doing well, what they're not doing well.
Well, I mean, pretty much everything. I echo everything Coach Ford said. He was spot on. I did listen to him yesterday, and there's some things that I saw, but I'm not here to judge all that. But I do think that it's funny. My wife actually said, I don't see leadership on the floor. And I think that's going to come. You don't really know who owns that team yet from a player standpoint. And I think that's all going to evolve. From an offensive standpoint, I thought the spacing maybe was a little tight the last game. And then, it's the old thing we all as coaches say, if it's a good shot, fine, but maybe that extra pass, maybe one extra dribble penetration, take out two defenders and kick it. But again, I'm not worried about what Coach Pope does. He's going to get it done. I've been to a Tom Izzo practice, and the one thing you're not going to do is out-rebound a Michigan State. I mean, I've seen him with the battle gear. You know, his players will wear helmets and shoulder pads, and they go at it. I mean, he's an amazing. I've always had a philosophy in coaching that you pick something and do something really, really good. And you watched our teams at Catholic. We were a really good pressing team that we learned from Coach Patino. Used to go to his practices and study that, and we had weaknesses, but we had one thing that we were going to live off is our press, and that led to our fast break offenses that you were talking about. And we always had a philosophy of trying to get an X amount of back tips and get some extra points off of out of bounds plays and scenarios like that. We were a type of team at Catholic where our weakness was if you got us into a half court set, that we probably could have done much better on that because we put so much emphasis on our presses. But I know we're talking about Kentucky, and I'm not worried about them. I mean, Coach, I think Alan, I'm not for sure, but I think Mark Pope was the team captain of that 96 team.
Yes, he was.
And you think of the players on that team, there was 8 to 10 players who went pro.
Yep.
Mark was a great player, but he wasn't Tony Delk or some of those guys that they had off that team. And that just shows you Mark knows how to own a team, own a locker room, and what the players thought of him. I mean, he's going to get it. It's going to work out for him. It just got a lot of new kids, and it takes time. I'm impressed with a few of their kids. I mean, I'm in love with Marino. I mean, what I've watched him in high school, kicked Lexington, beat Lexington Catholic a couple times. And he reminds me of Tom Heitz's nephew, Brad Miller. I don't know if you remember Brad.
Yeah, Brad played in the NBA forever.
14 or 16 years.
Something like that. That's that. You know what? I'm going to text. Heights does a show every now and then. Yeah, Tommy's crazy, but he's a great guy. He will love that.
Yeah, I remember Brad. Brad knew his role, and Brad could pass. And I think Marino the other night he was leading us in assists there at one time, but he's got tremendous upside. They've done a tremendous job with him. So I really like where he's at, and he's going to be a very special player before he gets out of there. Hopefully we can keep him a few years.
That would be nice. I think he needs at least one more year to get stronger. I wish every kid to do what they want, but he needs a little more. Sometimes these kids do need a little more seasoning than one and done. But what do I know?
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to talk about. It's something my wife actually said. I taught her what Travis said yesterday. I've got the same habits as he does. I don't sleep, so it's hard for me to watch evening games. Like to this day, I'll go to a high school game if it's at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. But if I watch it at night, it's because I don't sleep anyway, and I have to replay that, and it's tough. Now, 6 o'clock the other night was great for me, but if it's an 8 or 9 o'clock game, it's got to be the next day because it never goes away from you. It's not about what would I have done. It's just you relive and replay the game like you were there.
Right.
It's very difficult. I don't know. I'm not a night guy watching these late games, but I thought Travis, he was really – the things he said, and he's such a phenomenal person and a coach, and he knows what he's talking about on that much more than I ever will. And again, I think anybody knows Coach Pope. When I was at Catholic, Coach Pope when Mark was a player, he used to come to some of our practices.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was there at practice. He came to a lot of games when he had time. So there was things that, I didn't know if he was ever going to be a coach, but Coach Patino's kid played for me, and Mark would come to some of the games. So I think Mark's a student of the game, and he's going to just do fine here. It's all going to work out for him. It's a different time and climate for these college athletes, right? Are they college athletes? Are they pro athletes? How do we treat them? How do they manage that? I mean, I've tried to think what I would do if I was coaching in this era right now. And hopefully here in the next 2 to 3 years, that's all going to play itself out once they really figure it all out, and the transfer portals and the 6-7 year students are gone, since the pre-COVID and all since COVID. So hopefully we'll see something. And I think you're going to see a lot more players stay around a few more years, as I've heard you all talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the money's too good. The NBA doesn't really want you. I just hope these kids are getting good financial advice. I know a lot of schools are doing it. That doesn't mean you listen. So some of these guys will never make that kind of money ever again. Don't be frivolous. Put it away. Invest it. Yeah, go have a steak every now and then, but put your money away. Because then if you go have a job and you don't play pro ball, all of a sudden when you're 40, you can have something based upon what you did in college. You could be unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's I know you'd like to talk about Kentucky, but I'd like to talk about you. What you did when you came to Lexington, I think it was probably, gosh, I forgot, 80, 81, 82. You came in early in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You set the standards of how the media started covering high school sports. I could have never marketed what I did without guys like you. And then, it had Buzz Baker and Kenny Rice and Keith Spalding and Mossy, and then you had one of the best sports writers around for high school, Mike Fields. But I think you were the first guy that I recall that was everywhere we went in the gym, you were there. And I know all the high school coaches and players back then, because we don't see that anymore anywhere. We don't see them in any high school gyms unless it's the finals of the playoffs. And I'm not sure if they're covering it a lot in Lexington like you did, but I want to thank you for that.
Wow. Very kind. Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned other names as well, because there's a lot of people who cared about high school sports. I certainly wasn't the only one. That would be ludicrous on my part. But I started the high school shows with the cameras.
Yeah.
With all the cameras. Really brief. You know how I sold it to my boss?
How's that?
If I said I wanted more cameras for sports, he would have said no. So I said, Friday night football is community involvement. That you have all these people who show up to watch their kids play high school football, that they love Kentucky, but they're really not sports fans. And those people will watch newscasts. And we need to have it so they see our camera, and therefore they'll watch our station more. And back in the old days, I had people send letters. It was letters back then, Danny. Letters. They would send me letters saying that they would take their black and white portable TV to a Pizza Hut or something like that to watch my show, as the coaches would eat pizza or family would eat pizza and stuff like that. It was great. And then everybody copied what I did. But there's a lot of people who really liked high school sports,
Well, you all, I mean, the talent level of you, 18, 27, and 36 was amazing. You couldn't find three better guys than you all. It was just amazing. Everybody, we would be on late night. We would go to the first one on and click to the next one and just catch all of you all. You all were always there, but you started. I recall that, and I know we appreciate it, because it's we all try to market our kids. We didn't have the social media that you do now, right? Thank God. But we were, for what you all did for them. I mean, there's a lot of kids got scholarships and films and things of you all covering kids. So again, thank you for that. It was remarkable.
Very kind of you to say. Yeah, and I did start it, but a lot of people really cared about it. I'm going blank. Tate's Creek High ended up kicking at Louisville, kicked in the NFL. David Akers.
Oh, yeah.
So they took a story I did on him, a funny story with the late, great Roy Walton. They sent it to Louisville as the recruiting tool, and they were interested based upon the kicks that he did. Walton made me some sort of like goofy bet. I walk on the field, he goes, I got a kid you got to see. Okay. This kid can kick the ball in the end zone in kickoffs. And he wasn't even seeing it. I said, no, he can't. Akers, get over here. And we had our camera, and son of a blank, 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 first one he kicked in the end zone. So it came into I forgot what he called him, the greatest leg in the history of football. You know how the late, great Roy,
he was the best.
And he was funny. So took the story, one of the coaches, sent it to Louisville football office. They had no idea who he was, and that's how he got a scholarship.
Wow. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, again, you all were everywhere, every game. I mean, we ran a massive tournament there at Lexington Catholic and had a lot of great teams come in, and you guys were always there. And they weren't getting that in their states, in their area. They would always comment about the coverage that we were getting. Their families would say, my God, they go back to the hotels and watch you guys on TV. And all of you guys were so talented and just very pleasurable. I mean, you all got along with each other. Again, I remember Mossy being the film guy, and then what was Keith Spalding? Remember all those guys?
Mossy's still kicking around. We still text each other.
Is he? Oh my God,
he's still kicking around. I mean, he really is. And he listens a lot. Mossy, if you're listening, you're the ancient one. God bless you,
Mossy.
I got to go, but I'm going to say this really quick. I remember some July when you were coaching. I don't know why I went to Lexington. I would do an interview with you or something, and the doors were open. I'm hearing the balls bouncing. I go in there, and it was hot. Just before you knew, Jim, it was hot. And I'm walking in and I'm sweating, and your kids are sprinting up and down like crazy. Because I'm going, Danny, it's July, because we got to get ready for the season. And your kids are sweating like crazy, but they didn't sprint because I was walking in. They were sprinting because they were sprinting. And you Your kids worked hard and they love playing for you. And thank you for listening to the show. It's really
you got to take it back about you loving Sean Woods, man. I can't live with that. I talked to him once. I can't. It's killing me. I know you told him you loved him the other day.
Well, he made me do it. And,
I know he did.
I gave in. And Sean's great. Hey, Danny, God bless you. Have a great Thanksgiving with you and yours. Maybe close to tournament time, you come back, give us analysis of Kentucky.
Got it. Thank you, Alan. Love you.
I'll tell Kenny Rice that you said that.
I love Kenny. I listened to him the other day.
There you
See
go.
you later.
Thanks, Danny. Bless you, man. I'm telling you, fast break basketball. Fast break. They had the best fast break basketball that I've ever seen in the state. Really. He should have been the Eastern coach. So Schvellas. I'm sorry. I always bring that up every now and then because, Jimmy, if it's as obvious as the nose on my face, shouldn't it be as obvious as the nose on my face? You would think.
Should be.
Mark Pope's press conference. Mark Pope's press conferences was live here on my show. Jimmy puts up the podcast. You can hear it about a half hour. We'll put links on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all kinds of stuff. You might want to check it out. Low is basically day to day. They hope to take another swing at it, so they hope he will play. Didn't say if he would or wouldn't. Didn't say anything about surgery, not surgery, none of that. We don't know. And Mo Diabate has an ankle problem, probably won't practice today, is how Pope put it. He said there's no chemistry problems, that the guys love each other. They're just not playing well together right now, and he took a lot of blame, as he should, and that's okay. That's what coaches do. Anyway, I'm late. Hope you enjoyed Danny Haney. I hope you enjoyed the one, the only Jim Master, and I hope you enjoyed the one, the only Van Hiles. Jimmy, as always, thank you so much. Have yourself a blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it tremendously. I do. This thing is spreading thanks to you, and if you'll tell one or two friends,